Thunder's Mouth Theatre presents Am I Old Yet? Season 6, Episode 4, News Spreads, in which Helen's newfound ability to send street litter into the upper atmosphere is attracting attention near and far.
Unconfirmed reports are coming in of strange happenings in Kew Gardens yesterday. A group of scientists investigating the flying litter phenomenon that we've been following visited the gardens with telescopes. Is that right, Josie?
Yes, Martin. As far as we can make out, it was a group from the London School of Economics who travelled down to Kew with binoculars and telescopes, hoping to track some of the flying litter to see where it's going.
That seems a bit odd, doesn't it? Kew Gardens?
Indeed it does. But apparently, according to my sources, they believe this phenomenon has something to do with the effect it is having on plant
But they
health.
wouldn't need telescopes to establish that, would they?
Well, you wouldn't think so, would you? But that's not the strangest part, Martin. Apparently, as they set up their telescopes in a raised area in the gardens, the surrounding trees began to bow to
What?
them.
Did I hear that correctly? Did you say the trees bowed to the scientists? Is this line working okay?
Yes, Martin, that's exactly right, so I'm told. It does sound unbelievable,
And what do the
doesn't it?
scientists have to say about it?
I'm afraid I haven't been able to contact them as yet. The university has refused to comment, so all I can say is stay tuned.
Yes, indeed. Fascinating stuff. Now over to Henry James.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, Mrs. D. It's Rene. Oh, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Rene. How are you? Are you at school? Your new school?
Oh, yeah. But I just wanted to give you a ring and see how you're doing.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you. I'm doing just fine, thank you. Are you...
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Well, it's like, I've been hearing all about this. All this things about the litter flying up in the air and that in London. And Auntie Jean says it's quite near where she lives. So that means it's quite near where you live. So I just wanted to check that you're all right.
Oh, well, I'm absolutely fine, thanks, Rene. Yep, not a problem. Streets are nice and clean. That makes a change.
You sure you don't know anything about it? I mean...
What do you mean, Rene? Come on, spit it out.
Well... it's not anything to do with those, that woman and the child that were looking for you. The ones that said that you were the chosen one.
Oh, why would you think that?
Well, I just thought maybe...
Oh, come on, Rene, don't be daft.
Well, it does seem quite like a coincidence, Like, you get told you're the chosen one, and the next minute, all around you, where you live, is getting cleaned up. Are you sure? You'd tell me, wouldn't you?
Oh, of course I would, Rene.
Oh, no, you wouldn't. No. Oh, no, you wouldn't. No. Oh, well. I suppose I can keep a secret.
Well, that's good. It's always good to be able to keep a secret.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear? Did you hear that there are dogs doing it now? Yeah, dogs. It's on YouTube. They started to notice it around St Albans, and then, well, it kind of started to spread north. So, we might even get it in Edinburgh.
Well, that'd be good after all that garbage strike you had there.
Yeah. So, dogs, eh? Wonder what else? What other kind of animals will start doing it? And another thing, what happens? What happens to all when it gets up there? Clogging up space and stuff.
Now that's a jolly good question, isn't it?
So you know the answer?
No, but are you sure you can keep a secret?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I just might know someone who does. Okay if I get back to you on that?
Oh, you bet.
Patience, Rene. That's the name of the game. Reckon you can handle it?
You can count on me, Mrs. D.
Good man.
Hi there, Susie here. Please leave a message after the beep. Thank you.
Hello. Susie, it's Misha here, Misha Nikolaev. I just want to bring you up to date with what we've been doing. I've managed to pull together a team here, and we've been making some inquiries and doing some research into your grandmother's situation. And it seems to be much more complicated than we first assumed it to be. So, Susie, we know that she is able to lift the litter from the streets and send it up into the upper atmosphere, where it is accumulating into bundles, shall we say, bundles. Huh? And now, of course, we have stray dogs doing it as well, huh? And it's all floating around the Earth in orbit. But the interesting thing is that instead of a decaying orbit, which is what you would normally expect, it seems to be an expanding orbit. So if it keeps going like this, it will eventually move out into space and escape the Earth's gravitational field. The momentum will release it, so to speak. And we don't know at this stage in what direction. Now, Susie, why I say it is more complicated is because we, my colleagues and I, we have realized there is something more that is going on. The plot thickens, my dear. And it is something to do with the flora, the plant life of the Earth. You probably heard about our trip to Kew Gardens with the telescopes, which were really, excuse me, it was really a cover, because what we really wanted to see was the effect, if any, on the plant life of our investigations. And we observed the astonishing event of the large oak and beech tree stand near where we set up our telescopes. They seemed to bend in our direction, quite gently, not threatening at all, but it was surprisingly uniform, a most extraordinary thing to see. And they straightened again. But the thing is, it happened 3 times. First of all, as I moved into the open meadow. And then when my colleague, Josh Edelstein, now he's a biology specialist, when he joined me a few minutes later, the trees bowed again. And the 3rd time was when my dear friend Marta Polensky joined us about 10 minutes later. Now she works at the Institute of Earth Science Studies. And Susie, those trees bowed again, and it was very, very low. And each time the trees behaved in this uniform manner, which seems to echo what you were telling me about the flowers, that they were bowing or waving to your mother when she was collecting a bouquet for your grandmother from her garden. So it seems that there is definitely something to do with the planet, the Earth. Maybe the soil, I don't know. Maybe it's Gaia, you know. The story of Gaia, Mother Earth, from the old Greek stories. Mother Earth was called Gaia. Have you heard that story? Or perhaps I'm thinking of Ceres. She was the goddess of the harvest of plants. Her daughter, Proserpina, was kidnapped by the god of the underworld. But Ceres insisted her daughter must come back to Earth for half of the year. And so we have autumn, when she goes to the underworld, and spring, when she returns to us. Anyway, that is just a fanciful thought, not that passed through my head, nothing to do with anything. So we are trying to be as discreet as possible as we can to shield your mother and, of course, your grandmother from any unnecessary publicity. Okay then, Susie. Call me when you get this message, and if I have any more news for you, of course I will tell you then. And please give my regards to your grandmother. Goodbye for now. This is Misha, signing out.
That was episode 4, News Spreads. The players were Ed Donnelly as Martin the newsreader, Francis Brodie Aldridge as reporter Josie Harkins, Ira Seidenstein as Misha Nikolaev, and Christopher McDougall as Rene. Susie and Helen were played by me, Floyd Kennedy. The music performed throughout is composed and performed by John T LaBarbera from his album In the Labyrinth, available on Bandcamp. Please rate and review this when you have a moment. It all helps me to gain new listeners. And I love new listeners as much as I love the old ones. And if you'd like to support the production costs, you can do this at buymeacoffee.com/amiolyet or by becoming a subscriber at patreon.com/amiolyet. Subscribers get extra benefits, just so you know. Thanks for listening. Stay safe.